going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky, I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. Happy Tuesday. I've got some court. You guys want to watch some court? I want to watch some court. Got a bunch of stuff tonight. Let's see. We got Judge Boyd, Judge Stevens, got some Judge Middleton, some Judge Simpson. There's just one more in there. I don't remember. Maybe just those. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyways, I hope you guys are well. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I was a little tired, so I went to the gas station that's close to my house to buy some caffeine. And while I was there, I got sucked into the candy bars that were right in front of the cash register. So I, thought I'd buy myself a Snickers. Yeah. Mountain Dew and a Snickers. I was buying two things. I left without the Snickers. I paid for it. I just left without it. How do you leave without 50% of what you just bought? I have no idea. Well, good news is the cashier just got a Snickers, and looks like I didn't really need a Snickers after all. All right, that's it. I'm rambling. Let's watch some court, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court can find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Yes. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at a $1,500 fine. The state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 180 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
And in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Your Honor.
No
Any-
objection.
All right, state, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulations of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing state's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I've spoken to the state about addressing the fine and community service. My client has a special needs client or a special needs child who's 7 years old, autism, nonverbal. That takes up a significant amount of her time. She also has a 3-year-old who's in the Head Start program. And she owns a small business where she does baking. We would like any help we can have on the fine and community service, Your Honor, considering the demands of her time with her child.
All right. Why were you driving 80 miles per hour?
I wasn't driving.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, somebody, I mean, if somebody else is driving, because they're saying you were evading in a vehicle. So if you want a jury trial, we'll give you a jury trial. State? She says she wasn't driving. Part of evading arrest, detention in a vehicle is you're the driver.
Yeah, I wasn't driving. I was hoping she was going to drop that I was traveling, but she doesn't. Tupac, yes, I do have it. I have it. I'm actually playing it tonight. It's going to be the last video of the. It's going to be the last clip of this video.
According to the police report, it states that she was driving.
Yes, Judge, we also have a dash cam video of it, of her getting out of the driver's seat.
All right. They say there's a dash cam video of you getting out of the driver's seat.
I was just a bit angry that night.
Then why are you pretending as though you were not driving?
I'm nervous.
No, nervousness doesn't make you be dishonest. You told me that you were not driving. And now the state says they have a dash cam video of you actually getting out of the driver's seat.
Mhm.
So why were you driving 80 miles per hour?
I was just on edge that night. And I
Why?
was trying to get home.
Why?
Me and my boyfriend at the time were fighting.
And is this Eduardo Ramirez?
Yes.
All right. So what time of the night was this?
I don't really remember, to be honest with you. I really don't remember.
Was it dark outside?
It was. It was dark.
All right. Were your children in the vehicle with you?
No, ma'am.
So who was taking care of your children?
My parents.
All right. So now we know the real people who are taking care of the children are her parents. She's just still living her best life with her new boyfriend.
That's not true.
Okay. So you're evading 80 miles per hour in a vehicle. Your attorney says you have a special needs child because plus you have a young child and you're out for a joyride with Eduardo Ramirez. And you're speeding going 80 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone. So I think counsel, she has time to do the community service because I think her parents are doing more than what's being presented to me. So do your parents babysit?
Sometimes, yes.
While you're running your bakery, where are you running your bakery from?
At home.
All right, that's your house, not their house?
It's their house.
All right, so her parents are doing the heavy lifting. All right, it's going to be a $1,500 fine. That's going to be probated, 4 years deferred adjudication, 180 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once she completes parenting classes, community service hours will be deemed satisfied. So do you have all of your DBAs in order, or you're just baking from your home and when people want a cake or?
No, it's registered with the county.
All right. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. If you're drug tested today, what will the results be?
Negative.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months, defensive driving course. And there's to be no contact with Eduardo Ramirez.
The only issue with that is that as of now is her husband. I believe they're going through a divorce, but there might be the need for contact to resolve that divorce.
All right, no contact with Eduardo Ramirez. The only exception is for court.
That works.
Is
Thank
there
you, Judge.
anything else?
Nothing further on.
Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Your children have to come first. Well, not always, because you would not have been going 80 miles per hour, whether you're upset with your boyfriend / husband or not. because anybody could have been killed. And police don't like when you're going 80 miles per hour and they tell you to pull over and you don't. You could have just been another person on the news that's dead with your parents doing a GoFundMe for your children. You have to put your children first. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. You're welcome. Omero Sanchez.
I missed what I'm supposed to say. What am I supposed to say? Oh, Worcestershire? Worcestershire? Is that what you wanted me to say? Worcestershire. Or, as I like to call it, wash your sister sauce. Okay, that was Judge Boyd. Yeah, don't lie to Judge Boyd. That was so dumb. I wasn't driving. Then why are you there? Why are you taking a plea deal for going at crazy speed? All right, we're moving on. This is Judge Stevens. This has been everywhere today. And I had to add this to the video tonight. For those of you that haven't seen this yet, your mouth might be, let's just say your jaw might be on the floor during 90% of this clip. Enjoy it. Judge Stevens, another judge you don't mess with. Let's go.
Good morning, Your Honor.
What are we doing today? What is to go? Chris? So you said defendant's GPS is deactivated due to failure to pay or report. Okay, that's what we got here, dated November 22nd, 2 weeks ago, which is a mortal sin. Really? I mean, so what is the status of the device?
On my ankle still, it gets charged every night. This is the first of my knowledge that was deactivated.
It says to pay or report. I mean, that shouldn't be. Hold on. I mean, that's what the court notes are. He is behind. He owes $1,125. We're going to deactivate him for failure to make payments on his device. That was on 10/14. So it's going on now 2 months. You've been put on notice, sir. And it's, huh?
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
What were you going to say?
Like I said, I haven't received a notice or anything.
You don't have to have a notice. You have to pay, and it says you're $1,125 behind.
Like I said,
is that right or wrong?
I don't know, because
if you don't, that's not the right answer for someone who is obligated to make payments. I don't know. Is not. You ought to have records, and they need to be produced because your burden is to prove otherwise.
I think
it's not mine.
I think the clarification, Judge, is that the complainant in this case, I'm looking at the probable cause affidavit and the affidavit in the indictment, I think it's Sarah Edwards.
Okay.
Follow me. Sarah Edwards, to my understanding from talking to him, was paying all of the fees, and then she stopped paying the fees. So then he was in a situation where he couldn't afford it anymore. But she was.
That's the worst. That's the worst story I've heard.
No, this is just a true story. If I can.
It might be true. But the victim, you were indicted. The victim, you think, ought to be paying for your obligations on the GPS device. Am I correct in that thing?
That's what I want to tell you the whole story. The GPS device is from the misdemeanor charge that was before the felony. So to bond out on the misdemeanor charge before the felony.
I ordered a GPS device, didn't I?
And I already had one on when you ordered it.
Yeah, so it's ordered on behalf of me, too. You got 2 orders that you've got to follow.
And they let me out of jail because I already had one on. So I didn't have to sign for your order, or I didn't have to agree to anything because I've already had one.
You didn't have to agree to anything because my order obligates you. You don't have to. This isn't a contract,
I didn't know
buddy.
who to go to. I didn't know who to go to.
You got a lawyer. You went to law school. Don't ask. Don't say
you're at the time of the GPS, but if making payment is fine, I can make retribution.
Will you do that as a favor for us?
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, Your Honor.
No, yeah, you are. You have an obligation as bond. And let me tell you what I do in all occasions like this. You go to jail. Now, good luck trying to figure that out, how you're going to pay for that. But what's his orders on? My orders, please. No, an order is an order by the court, and I'm sure they wouldn't have sent this to me if I did it. Wouldn't have ordered it, but and sent it to your attorney here back a few weeks ago.
And I didn't hear anything from my attorney, Your Honor, or I would have paid it. I can pay it full today.
Look, no. Here's the deal, too. No one needs to tell you you have to pay or you're behind. You were told up front, and you made it. That's what you. Is that what you do? Is you interrupt people all day long? I guess that's the environment you've found yourself in. Is you're the bully of the group. See, you keep saying that. You keep interrupting. You're the bully in the group. When the court talks, I get the talk first, and then you have a fair opportunity to answer. She has to take down everything that's said. When two people are speaking over each other, she can't do her job. And actually, the Supreme Court says she's really the most important person in this room, because if they don't have everything that's being heard, then they can't make rulings if there's an appeal of an issue. So let's do. But I'm not telling you anything that you and I didn't learn when we were 4 and 5 years old. And that's don't interrupt people when they're supposed to be talking. Okay. All right. So the
bond conditions are no contact or communication with the victim and must have a GPS monitoring device.
That's my bond conditions. What was the date on that?
He made bond on December 29th, 2023.
Yeah. When was my bond condition ordered?
It doesn't give a date, Judge, under the conditions. It's likely when we set the bond, probably
A long time ago.
probably when he was indicted is when we set the bond conditions.
So ignorance is not an excuse. You were told, you were ordered by this court, and your bondsman informed you. Your attorney also knows about it. So
and like I say, Judge, I'm not saying that that's an excuse, but this way it happened is that Sarah's the component, and she stopped paying. Then after she stopped paying for the thing,
that's the silliest thing I ever heard. Your excuse to me for not paying the obligation. I didn't order Sarah, the complainant, the victim. I ordered you, the defendant. I really can't do much about or Sarah. She's not before me. You are, but I ordered you to the GPS device, and your explanation and excuse to me is that the victim in this case, who was not ordered by me, you were, the victim didn't pay for your obligation of the GPS device, so it's not your fault. Silliest thing I ever heard. This is like we're in 4th grade now.
I really want to hear this story. I don't know if you guys are on the same page as me with this, but if he's having the victim pay this, I want to hear his story and why that even set up. Why did the victim agree to this? Is it, a wife, a girlfriend, an ex-wife, an ex-girlfriend? Who's this victim to agree to pay your court stuff for you? I need to hear the story. I don't think we hear it, though. There is still like 7 minutes left of this clip, so we might hear a little bit of it, but I don't think so. I don't remember it.
3rd grade, 1st grade. This is foolish and silly, and it's irresponsible. And you are grown up. I know you've been around. You're 1990. So what are you in your 30s here? Yeah. So you're an adult. You've been an adult for half of your life. Well, this is a responsibility that is yours, an obligation that is yours. And Sarah Edwards, who you feel like this is, I hope this goes to trial so we can explain this to the jury, so that the jury listens to the person that the grand jury indicted you for hurting. And their grand jury states you intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly caused bodily injury by stabbing and cutting her about the head and body with scissors. And that that person who is alleged to have been stabbed and cut by scissors and brings you before the court. Your story to them is going to be like, I'm sure to me, that she's the one that should be paying the GPS device, not for me. And that's my excuse. She's paid it before for whatever reason, but I didn't order her. I ordered you. And the victim not paying for your responsibilities doesn't go 1 inch. It makes me angry. I think it would make anybody, any judge, angry. But the court's orders are the court's orders. You failed to honor them. I can hold you in contempt, put you in jail for 180 days. Plus, when you get out, you're not going to get out until you have a GPS device that's paid for. God.
Can I just say?
Let me ask you this. You're 35 years of age. Personal question. Do you work? Are you employed?
I'm actually been employed 2 jobs recently. At Williams Brothers Construction, driving end dump and belly dump trucks. My background came back with the pending charges and the GPS monitor. They had to let me go, as well as Martin Marietta. I worked there doing ready mix trucks for 3 weeks, and then that was hired on contingency. And then when I guess it was time for me to get my own truck, the background came back, and again the pending charges.
Okay. You might be surprised to know that the people on bond all have pending charges, criminal cases in this court. There's 5,000 of the people between this lady next door and me, the 2 criminal district judges. They never have this problem. And this is a first in my years as a judge and as a lawyer that you need to cut me some slack, Judge, because the victim was supposed to be paying for my GPS device that you ordered me to have, not me. And it wasn't my obligation or my excuse for not paying it for it's behind is that she didn't pay for it. Sorry, that doesn't work. What else?
Just to say, first I want to apologize for the interrupting. I'm just really nervous right now. Really been trying to get my life on track and do everything right. That's why I'm really scared to go to jail, because I am in the process of looking for a job and everything. As far as taking on the responsibilities, like you said, I'm sure you can tell by my past that I'm not too good at that. And right now,
I don't know much about your past, so really I don't. The indictment just says one thing. What you're charged with here is this.
You'd see my full arrest.
Hold on. With this aggravated assault. I don't know what your arrest situation is, and quite frankly, I'm not really interested in it. I am interested in convictions because I'm funny about the presumption of innocence. I'm going to stand by that. You can be arrested, in period, but you've been charged here with now bond conditions, and these conditions have to be followed. And failure is not an option, and that's for everybody. Failure is not an option because the other alternative is sit it out in jail until we can resolve this. But here's another thing: is you're not supposed to even have contact with Sarah Edwards. Oh, but how do you work without any contact with her? How do you work her paying for your bills? How does that work?
Because I said I have
play like I don't have 3 degrees and a doctorate. Play like I don't have that. I don't understand how that works in your world.
I have a misdemeanor charge from before the felony charge against Sarah.
Yeah.
The misdemeanor charge
for what?
For a misdemeanor assault.
On whom?
Just another woman. So
wait a second. Half the planet for women. And the way you talk about it is just another woman?
Oh, man, I'm so glad Judge called him out on that. I picked up on that right when he said it. I was like, oh, no, don't do that. Just another woman. Come on, man. What's up, Heineken? Good to see you. Cheshire Cat, I saw your super chat. I will call you out after this clip's finished.
Well, I didn't know that it was to be getting into
I can't wait to see the jury that's impaneled in this case. You'll see a lot of ladies in the group and see their response for that statement. You know what? There's just no respect. You just don't have respect for others, much less women, ladies. My goodness. And the person Who's the victim? You're blaming her for not paying. This is almost like a laugh-in movie. This is like a cartoon because you're in a parallel universe. All right, I've said enough. You have an obligation here. You hadn't paid.
And there's no way to make repercussions.
You got 72 hours.
I can make repercussions in less than 5.
Repercussions. I want responses, not repercussions. A response. There's two different words there.
Forgive me, Ron. Like I said, I'm really trying to change them.
You got 72 hours. Today's Tuesday. You'll be back on.
And that was before the felony. So Sarah paid for the GPS on that case. So she had been paying for it from then before her case.
Sir, I don't care about this case. I've ordered you. I have ordered you a GPS on this case. Now, if you want to use a GPS for both of them, that's fine. But you don't have to have 2 GPSs,
right.
But you have to have one. And this one, you interrupt one more time and you don't get 72 hours, Mr. Interrupter. I can see you're a bully. You really are. You're a bully. And here's the deal. It's girls. It's girls that you pick on. Mr. Man, gentlemen. Let's see. Hope here and Sarah here are the 2 victims. And then Sarah is supposed to be paid for your GPS device. It's her fault, not yours. 72 hours. And I don't want Sarah paying for it. You have to pay for it. Because I'm going to talk to the bondsman and I expect Sarah, and we'll have Sarah up here if I have to. And I'll talk to her about it. But you're not going to be pressuring. Yeah, you're supposed to contact this woman. I find out you contacted her. You'll sit, whatever device, you can sit in jail with all the GPS devices you can put on you, and you'll sit in jail until this thing gets disposed of. So, see, you're charged here with one female, with one lady, causing bodily injury to Hope here by I guess that's pushing it, it's a misspelled word, and headbutting the victim at the time of the y'all had a dating relationship. What kind of intimate love relationship it involves headbutting? I'm not familiar with that. I've never tried that with my wife. You think it's funny? It's not. It's indecent. It's not proper for an antelope lady. And then the other one here is you stabbed and cut Sarah with the head and body with scissors. And then Sarah, it's her fault that you're not paying, that you don't have. Well, it just makes me angry to read this.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does it to you?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would.
I mean, there's no sensibility here. You're standing there and want me to feel sorry for you? Well, I don't.
And Your Honor, the state would just request that the defendant's bond be increased to protect the victim in this case because she was paying.
What's her bond? What's his bond now, please? I don't want her paying that bond. And I'm going to have her in here to make sure she does it, my God, because I know what's going on in the environment that's out there. When you're on bond, I'm sure you're pressuring the poor ladies, both of them. Yeah, I'm sure that's.
The bond is $50,000.
Yeah. I've been railing on you. I'm saying it's hard to say this. I know it's hard. Your attorney is a fine lawyer, and we're all stunned by your what comes out of your mouth and the way you think. You're in a parallel universe with the rest of this planet by yourself, because I've never seen thinking or had to deal with thinking like this. But I'm going to protect that lady. But you don't have a GPS device on right now, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I've never taken it. It's never been off since it was initially ordered from the misdemeanor.
Okay. But I'm going to tell the bondsman they can get off your GPS device. You're going to have to go to somebody else. But they can get off. They're not, if it hadn't been paid for, then that's an obligation, and then they have to deal with me because they're supposed to follow my orders. But if it hadn't been paid timely, then I'm going to tell them, get rid of it. Take it off. And I want to know, I want to know with the bondsman, and I'll call the bondsman and talk to them. I want to know what the source of that money is. I find out you're getting the money from any victim. Heck would pay. Do you understand?
Aaron, that would be kind of funny if something happened, not necessarily a shock, but what if you didn't pay for your GPS device, or the battery was getting low, or let's say it wasn't tracking for some reason, it started beeping like a smoke detector does when it's low on batteries. So everywhere you went, you just constantly heard that beeping noise. Yeah, I bet they would stop, playing games at that point.
Just look around you. And nobody is on your side on this one. Nobody. You're on your own because you're not thinking right. I want a hearing on Friday to see where we are, and I'm going to talk to the bondsman and see where we are. But you don't have it paid for. I'm ordering it pulled until you pay up front. And I find out that these ladies are paying because of you, Mr. Bully, and that. Can you imagine going to trial with this? This thing's headed for trial. That's what I guess I've said it for trial. And then the district attorney brings this up, which he could, because it's part of your character. Then I can guarantee you that jury is at least 50% females. But no man is sympathetic with you in this situation. No, a decent guy, no decent man. Shame on him. I can't even say that enough, but you're just not thinking about it. There's no way to treat anybody, much less someone you claim you have an intimate relationship with or intimacy with. My goodness, been married 40 years. I can't even imagine thinking that. Even thinking such a thing, much less acting it out like you're playing around with. Get a resetting. You don't have contact with this lady, my watch, who's the victim.
No, I've never talked to her.
I don't care. I'm repeating an order that you don't seem to think about, because I ordered you to have a bond, to have a GPS, and your GPS is not paid for. So you didn't follow that. So I expect that you're irresponsible in other ways too. Get a resetting. 3 days, we're going to have a hearing, and then we'll air this out. And I want to find out where we are. We're ready to go to jail if you're not going to impress me. Do you understand?
Thank you.
Patrick Lee.
All right, that one was fun. Judge Stevens. That guy. I'm gonna be looking for his follow up. Don't worry. I got to. Oh, I didn't even realize this is. Say my name. No, I'm not. PCAT. I'm not even gonna try that. What is that even a word? Pfefferness? I have no idea. I can pronounce cat. No, I'm done even looking at it. Thank you for the super chat. Jeez, what are you doing to me? Ed, thank you so much for that. For those of you that don't know, a lot of people have been saying it. I kind of made a little tech mistake during my premiere today. An hour and a half long video for the Eric Martin sentencing, and my mic wasn't picking up my voice. I didn't check it because my intro worked just fine. But it was after my intro, I think that was it. I think that's all you could hear. Maybe the first time I stopped, I think you might have been able to hear me. But after that, nope, nothing. So we had all these awkward pauses, and during the hour and a half video, you're just looking at a screen. No talking, just a screen. That was fun. Yeah. The worst part about that, I have received a dozen comments on that video saying it was my best video yet. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. All right, moving on. Moving on. Let's see. We're going to Middleton. We might be going to Middleton. Yeah, we're going to Middleton. This one's interesting. And I'll explain why I find this one interesting after it's over. But all right, let's go.
Good morning, Mr. Quinn. Can you hear me?
I can, Judge. Good morning.
I had some technical difficulties a moment ago, but I think we worked them out. This is Lisa Haney. She is.
This is a small claims matter. This is a collection case, so Debbie's not here. Debbie did do some bond arraignments later this afternoon, and I actually have the tab still open. I haven't looked through them, but I'm going to look. I think there was about 5 or 6 bail arraignments or jail arraignments. So I'm going to find one to play. But no, I didn't get a chance to do that before the video came out. So she will be in probably my live stream tomorrow night.
Here, and she's at the conference room at the courthouse. This is the time for a pretrial conference, the matter of Barclays Bank of Delaware versus Lisa Haney. Let me get your P number here. P 86016. The amount at issue is $1,422.81 plus cost, interest, and attorney fees. The lawsuit was served on Ms. Haney, and she filed a letter, which we accepted as an answer.
Guardians of the Galaxy reference, Taserface. I love it. I love it. Taserface. You just see Rocket just busting ass laughing. Good to see you.
Essentially denying that the debt was hers. I have an issue, so I'm going to ask both of you to just stay right where you are for a moment, and I'll be right back. I'll leave everything on.
I forgot to take this part out. I knew this happened too. He's only gone for about 30 seconds, but it's long enough where I can skip ahead. So I'll skip ahead. I forgot to take it out. Man. Nope. Definitely longer than 30 seconds. Here we go.
My apologies for that. We had a bad accident with a death, and there's some issues that need to be resolved with that, but I'll take that up when we finish this. Anyway, Ms. Haney denied the debt. Barclays Bank did an investigation and determined that, I'll just read it, dated November 13th of 24. We have completed a thorough investigation of your fraud claim. After careful consideration of all information available to us, we're unable to approve your fraud claim because we have concluded that the charges were made by you or someone who had authority to use your account. As a result, you are responsible for paying the previously disputed balance along with any associated finance charges and fees. So you've made a fraud complaint, which they denied. Mr. Quinn, what's the status from your perspective? Excuse me.
Like you said, Your Honor, when we did receive defendant's answer, we immediately flagged it for fraud. We told our client about that. We sent defendant a fraud packet. It looks on October the 8th. We never received the fraud packet back. And like was already stated, our client conducted an investigation into the matter and concluded that they did not believe that there was fraud in this instance.
Ms. Haney, what's your position?
What are the charges for? Can you tell me what the charges were for?
Well, I was looking at the complaint and the things that come with it. This is some sort of a price line card. And it shows a number of things on 1020 and 1021. I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking at. A Red Roof Inn in Kalamazoo, a Best Western.
I never went to a motel by myself, so I've never charged anything there. I mean, a hotel would have cameras.
First of all, they sent you a fraud packet and you never sent it back. Secondly, when this charge occurred, they sent a bill to your house on at your address on Kerr Creek Road, and you never disputed it at that point. You just didn't pay it.
Yeah, a collection bureau thing.
Mr. Quinn, can you tell what the money was charged for?
Like you said, Your Honor, in the complaint, there was the statement with all of the, looks like hotels and motels, Baymont, Sleep Inn, Red Roof Inn, Radisson.
That sounds like somebody that's on a business trip, and I don't do that.
Well, they're all the same day.
Yeah, that's weird. Doesn't make no sense. You know, sketchy there, don't you think?
All right. Well, they would have sent you a bill for this. Did you get a bill and say, "Hey, wait a minute, I don't know this"?
I got bills and I called the number, and the lady said, "Okay, we'll turn this into fraud," or something like that. And then my phone kept blowing up. So was my husband's, and I could never get to the bottom of it. When I turned it in for fraud, I thought we were done with it, but evidently not.
Yeah, she doesn't seem too believable. I feel like she knows something more than she's putting on. And Judge Middleton, I feel like Judge Middleton's the same way. He kind of alludes to that here shortly. But you have a credit card that was used in multiple different hotels for the exact same day. That there's just something really sketchy about that. And the fact that she didn't fill out the fraud paperwork. Now, I don't necessarily know what company does he work for? I don't even remember what credit card company the guy works for. But a fraud packet, you're essentially, I mean, a lot of them have an affidavit. So you're filling out an affidavit saying that you didn't do this. And yeah, you don't lie on those things. You get a lot of trouble for it. So I think it's very odd she didn't fill that out as well. All right. But this whole thing is just weird.
Because me and my husband consolidated all of our credit cards. Why would I go out and get another one? That just don't make no sense.
So you're denying that you even had this Priceline Visa signature card?
Yeah, I've never had a Priceline signature card. I've never heard of it, honestly. It's just bad.
Yeah, I was actually trying to think that too. What kind of scam could you potentially run by using one credit card to book multiple hotels on the same day? I have no idea. And then, I mean, even if, we don't know. So I'm going to, just for a moment's believe her that she doesn't know this. She doesn't know this happened. She has no link to this card. That's just so weird for that to happen. Like, I don't get that. But then on the other hand, for her to have done it still doesn't make sense. It just, I don't know. It's confusing all the way around.
It all started when I went up to Baldwin, and my husband and I went up to Baldwin 2 years ago. And after we gave back, two weeks later, my phone was blowing up. His phone was blowing up with all this. And I'm like, what the heck? And all we had was our debit card, and I didn't have no Visa cards because we consolidated them all. And that one is not even on the list.
Well, they sent some billings to your house
But I called the lady to tell her, man, this is not right.
115 of 23 to your Kerr Creek Road address.
Yeah, and that's when I would call her back. And then when I called, like the, I don't know, attorney, I think an attorney letter came or something, and I called.
Yeah, the problem is it's a Priceline credit card. So you can look to see if the rooms were actually, you know, if someone redeemed the room. But I'm guessing this was all done online.
And the guy said, oh, I can't talk to you, and hung up on me.
All right. Well, you don't have a presumption of innocence in a civil case, but the plaintiff does have the burden of proof. They have to prove that you owe this debt. Mr. Quinn is here on behalf of the law firm Stillman's office, and I'm confused too. It shows a bill that I don't understand, purchase activity for Lisa Haney in this card, December 20 and 21. It shows multiple charges. Then it shows points and amount of the debt. You didn't stay in 9 different hotels on December 20th and 21st. So I'm not sure if what I'm reading is correct. But anyway, it shows this credit card was used at multiple hotels. It looks like all on the same date. Now they have to prove that you owe this money.
Exactly.
And
we have a video camera. Hotels have cameras, and I don't give anybody authority to use my card if I had one. That's just stupid.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Just in case you needed something.
All right, try it now. All right, thank you. All right, we are dealing with Barclays Bank versus Lisa Haney. File number is 241251GC. Well, there is no summary disposition motion, and the defendant denies the debt. So, Mr. Quinn, I guess we can do a couple of things. We can set the matter for trial. We can perhaps look at a summary disposition motion, but defendant is claiming a defense that I don't own this card and it wasn't me. What's your thought here?
Can we get a scheduling order, Your Honor, and maybe set it for trial? We might file a motion for summary disposition. Ms. Haney, do you remember receiving the fraud packet from our office?
I don't, or I would have kept that because that's exactly what I'm dealing with.
Right.
My identity got taken somehow.
All right, well, let me, I believe they sent you the fraud packet. And I don't know if you misplaced it or that was in October. You didn't respond, and then they made the finding in November that there was no. But for one thing, it's not clear what they allege that you charged. You say, I never even had such a credit card. But, all right, they sent you billings for that credit card to your house. They sent you a fraud packet at your house, which you didn't return. And the problem is, if it was a situation, but we allege that you bought a washer dryer set at Home Depot on June 15th and didn't pay for it. And you would say, I never bought a washer and dryer at Home Depot. Here, I'm not exactly clear what it is you supposedly put on this credit card. and I don't think you are either. But they sent several billings.
And that's when I started putting the numbers on there. And they said, oh, we'll file that as fraud then, or identity theft.
I don't know about you guys, but when I receive a letter from a credit card company for a card I don't have, I instantly throw it away. Probably not good practice, but I always assume that they're trying to, get me to apply for a card that I don't want. That's what I always assume. Now, if one of those was, a fraudulent charge, and I wouldn't know. So I wouldn't blame her for not opening that. But she said she did. She opened it and she called the fraud department and they just didn't follow up on it.
And I thought it was handled, and I thought I'd not hear from them again. And here we are. I guess I didn't know that it was. I don't know. Maybe that was my package.
Well, what he's proposing is a scheduling order where I set out some dates by which things can occur. So plaintiff has 21 days to file a summary disposition motion. Defendant has 21 days to respond if she wishes to.
Is that a question? Sorry.
Yeah, well, not exactly. Then I'll allow 60 days for discovery. And I'm going to set this for trial for let me see. 21, 42 days, 60 days for discovery. February 26th at 1 p.m. One question that you're entitled to have answered, as I indicated, they have the burden of proof. So they have to provide a witness that will come in and say, these charges were made on this date. And then theoretically, they have to somehow prove that you're the one that made those charges. All right, now there are ways to do it. I don't know what the billing history is on this card. You say I've never used this card. So let's assume they can show that the card was taken out in 2022.
Thanks, Terval. I appreciate it. And no worries. I know my name is autocorrected to Colin. So I knew what happened. Phones have been autocorrecting my name to Colin for as long as they've been autocorrecting. So no worries. But I do appreciate the super chat.
And there were charges made on it, and you paid on the charges, and then there were other charges made on it, and you paid on the charges. It would show a history of use of the card. I don't know whether that's accurate. Your position is, I've never used the card at all. I didn't have the card, and I don't know what it is you allege that I charged.
Right, I couldn't give her the last other numbers of the card. She's like, I got the last four, but I can need the other ones of this card. I'm like, I don't have that card to give you the numbers on. That's what I was saying.
Well, and the other odd thing is what they did submit shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 separate hotel charges on the same day. Now, maybe the reservations were made on that day. I don't understand what that's showing me, and the numbers don't match. But Priceline Baymont Inn, $129. Priceline Sleep Inn, $296. Priceline Red Roof Inn, $184. So it looks suspicious anyway, that 8 charges were made on the same day to 8 different hotels. So it looks a little hinky right off the bat. And I can't tell whether they allege anything else was ever charged on this other than those 8 charges.
And then you end up to what, the 1400? 1500, I don't know.
All right, are you still at the Kerr Creek Road address?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Quinn, do you have any interest in sending out another fraud packet?
We can, Your Honor. Miss Haney, what's your email? I can email it to you right after the hearing, if that
I'll
would be
put you in
easier.
the breakout room.
Okay.
I don't want to put her email over the live stream. She'll start to get random emails. All right, Miss Haney, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Quinn, and you can discuss some of this. So, as I mentioned, I'll say again, you don't have a presumption of innocence like you do in a criminal case. You also don't have a right to have a court-appointed attorney in a civil case. But they have the burden of proof beyond a preponderance. They have to prove that somehow this debt is you. And that is just fundamental. But I'm going to put you both in a breakout room. You can exchange email information and other information. And then you're free to go. So click the button that says join. Can you see that?
All righty. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That one was interesting. I can't wait to see the follow-up. That's going to be one of those cases I might miss when it comes back around for the follow-up because it's not going to be on a docket. Well, I mean, it will be on the docket, but I don't usually look up Judge Middleton's calendar, and it's going to be, a month, 2 months out. So I might not see it, but I will try to do the follow-up. All right, we're going to move on to the last video. This last one is a special treat. This is Judge Simpson retaking his oath of office. Now, I will admit, I don't know why he's doing this. Maybe he was up for re-election and won, so he has to retake his oath. I don't know. I really don't understand the backstory about why this is going on. But it's touching. It's Judge Simpson. And, you might choke up a little bit watching it. Duval, he is his current appointment to the bench ends at the end of 26. So we have at least 2 more years with him before he retires. I've heard people say that he's retiring after this term. But I've never heard him actually say that, but that's kind of the rumor on the street. So sounds like we have 2 more years with him. Okay. All right, so this is a re-election thing. I didn't know you had to retake your oath after you won the re-election. Okay, that's what it is. It's kind of what I figured. I just didn't want to guess. All right, let's watch this. I'm going to let this entire thing play, and then we're going to raid someone. It's probably going to be Lone Wolf. It's Tuesday night, so it's probably going to be Lone Wolf. But yeah, let's go. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. This isn't long. It's about 5 or 6 minutes long. So you guys are awesome. I'm glad my mic is working. So, you guys couldn't tease me all night long. That's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys are awesome. Until next time. Bye.
Having the opportunity to swear in and deliver the oath of office for such an amazing jurist, a true scholar of jurisprudence, a mentor of mine, a pillar in the legal community, and someone who has broken more glass ceilings, paved more roads, and provided proof from some kid from south side of Chicago by way of Stony Brook and Ann Arbor that you can do absolutely anything in this community if you love it enough, if you're willing to put in the work, and that you come to work every day selflessly and ask that you do the work for the people with pure heart, with perseverance, and with commitment to our Constitution in the state of Michigan and in the United States. It is my pleasure to present J. Cedric Simpson the oath of office. Please raise your right hand to be sworn. And repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of District Court Judge
and that I will faithfully discharge the office and the duties of the office of District Court Judge
accordingly to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
That's all we have.
So help me God.
Congratulations on this
Thank you.
term. All right, if you come forward to your bench that I'm borrowing in a very nice chair, and we'll have you, I believe this is the one that you need to sign.
And if I might, Judge Slice, say a few things. I want to thank you for your kind words to me. I don't know that I'm fully deserving of them, but they are heard and certainly appreciated. This is now, I had added up the fifth time that I've taken this oath. And as I think we all do when we take that oath, we just call on somebody who is an inspiration to us in certain ways and a friend. When I asked, I didn't know what you would say, whether you'd come and do that. You told me you would be here, and it's been that way throughout my entire existence, knowing you. You're always there when called. This is special to me. I remember our conversation in the parking lot about you running for judge. I don't know if you recall that. We had differing opinions at that moment, but I think the right choice was made. But I also have to acknowledge that you don't get to this point ever alone. You always have those around you that help you, support you through the difficult times. Sometimes when you don't want to make the difficult call in a case, and they may not even know what it's about, but they know that you're struggling, and they just stand by you and just are there. And sometimes those are just the people in my office, Mr. Allen, Ann, who is not here, and Emily, who realize that sometimes, and I am extraordinarily blessed on my bench to have two great colleagues in terms of Judge Barr and our Chief Judge, Judge Freshour, who came here today, and I thank you for coming today. But the people that are really around you at those moments are your family. And my mom and dad aren't present, but I know and I hope that each and every day that they were proud of their son, for at least what he's tried to do. My older sister's not here. No, she'll watch on YouTube. She'll then say she didn't get the invitation. We'll argue about it. And I'll tell her that it was there. And then it turn into everything. And with Karen, my older sister, she's right. But she's always been there in her quiet way since the death of my mom as the matriarch of our family. 6 years ago, and I still have the text, and why this day is important to me is because the last time that I took this oath, outside of my parents, there's one person that was missing, and that was my brother, who had just recently passed away. Just say, Gary, I miss you dearly. But through a lot of the really tough times, he was always there and indicating to me never to give up and never give in, which is kind of how us Simpsons are. My son, who is also a great part of that, but he's at school right now where he should be. He's probably not in class. I don't know who he's hanging out. No, I'm kidding. I hope he's in class, but I'm sure he will see this and will, in his quiet way, say probably absolutely nothing. But I know in his eyes that he's proud of his dad, and that's all that matters. But here today are two people, my rock, as I just call her, my daughter Lauren, who is just steady as can be, who always has a great, wonderful thing to say to me all the time and just tell me that she loves me. And that's what's important. Then the person that I'm grateful to, I just try not to refer to her by name because I just call her the other lawyer in the family. But the chief public defender, my sister Delphia, who a number of years ago when I was at the University of Maryland, followed me there and was a year behind me, and I was never more angry in my life that she was there, because my mother also forced us to live together, which really kind of messed up a lot of things. But as with my mother, she was always right. It certainly brought us closer. And then when she came here, I watch what she, to the extent that we discuss it, what she goes through and the decisions that she makes. And as her big brother, I can't tell you how proud I am of the woman that she's become and the example to this community that she is. But those are the people that make me who I am. And I just publicly thank them for that as I take this oath and I take it seriously. I appreciate you administering it. And as I always say during these times, I often give tribute to my mother, but my dad was a special guy. Like me, very quiet. Okay. But well, he was. But always just full of faith and confidence. And I always just say to him, because I know he's up there in heaven watching over me, that Dad, I hope you're as proud of your son as your son was of his dad. So thank you all very much for being here. And thank you, Judge Sly.
This is our special session. Thank you all for being here.